You're listening to Mike Dell's World with your host, Mike Dell. From Mike Dell Studios, this is a Mike Dell production, created by Mike Dell. Mike Dell.
And thanks, Mark. This is Mike, and you are listening to Mike Dell's World for National Podcast Posting Month, Day 3. This is episode 368. And today we're going to talk about when is it time to junk a car. You know, when is it time to let your old car go? You know, it's nickel and diming you to death, and, I don't know. I have two examples going on right now. One is my trusty, rusty loser cruiser, my old, well, it's not so old. That's the other thing. Both these are 2006. It's not that old. Come on, you know. But this van of mine, it's a 2006 Dodge Grand Caravan with rust everywhere. Well, not everywhere. It's rusty around the edges, and the back hatch is pretty rusty, and the hood's kind of rusty, but I've got it covered up with a bug deflector. Yeah, that's really cool. That is a cool car, you know. It's that Allstate, I don't know if it's Allstate, some commercial for insurance where the old lady's on the rotary dial phone trying to get a hold of the insurance company because her son got in a wreck. Well, that van that her son's driving is exactly the same van I have. It's not cool, but it is extremely useful, and that's why I don't really want to get rid of it. Now we have another van, a 2012 Dodge Caravan, and it's much nicer and, you know, just as utilitarian, I suppose. The thing with the old van is I don't care that much about it. So, you know, it's great to haul the dogs around in. I can put a, 4x8 sheet of plywood if I could afford one in the back. Actually, I think the prices have gone down on those. But, for this office shed thing, I hauled a good portion of that. All the construction materials for that in that van. It's, if you can get the door shut, it'll move it. It's, it's quite the utility vehicle, but it's, it nickels and dimes. Not too long ago, I had an idler pulley go out. Of course, that's a, pain in the ass job to fix. But I did. It took a couple of days, but, like I said, it's not my daily driver, so I can leave it sit, and work on it when I can. But got that done, and then a little while later, one of the steel hoses, or not hoses, I don't know, the ducts for the cooling system, one of the steel ones, the ones that aren't ever supposed to rot, the rubber hoses were fine, but the steel one rotted out and rusted out and all the coolant came out on the ground. So I had to get that fixed. That was, $300 or $400 or whatever it was to have Quinn's do it for me. And every time I bring that van into them for anything, it's like, you really want us to work on this thing? Isn't it time for it to go to the junk? And like, well, it just runs so good. It's nothing really, nothing rises to the occasion of, it's always under $1,000, to get something fixed on it. Even less than that, under 500 most of the time. And it's always, why should I junk it for another $500 thing? Well, now I've got a power steering leak, I think. Not sure if it's leaking or what it's doing, but it's a weird problem. But if it ends up being the pump, that might just do it, because that pump looks like it's a royal pain in the butt to get to. But we'll see. I hope it's not that. I hope it's the reservoir, which I ordered one on on Amazon for, I think it was $13 delivered for the whole power steering reservoir. So we'll see if that cures its ills, and hopefully it does. It also has a wheel hub that's gone out. I've already bought the part. I just haven't spent the time to put it on. It just makes noise. But, again, who cares? Use it to haul stuff around. And so I don't know. I may still keep that. It's got, a little over 250,000 miles. I joke that it's been to the moon. We'll see if we can get it back from the moon at some point. I don't think it'll ever get that many miles, but I don't drive that much anyway. That's the other thing. But suffice it to say, it's on the teetering edge. Anything, if a transmission or an engine goes out on it, it's a goner. And I'm debating whether I'd even put tires on it. I don't know. It's got tires that hold it off the rims. Not exactly safe, I would say. But again, I'm not driving it that far, just driving around town and whatnot. Actually, for the last couple of months, my neighbor's been borrowing it because she wrecked her car and she goes to Florida, and she decided that she didn't want to buy a car right off, and she was going to run her motorhome, just drive her motorhome until she went to Florida. That's silly. Drive the beater van. So that's what she's doing. And then I got another one. It's a 2006 as well, Subaru Forester. And what's kind of funny about the story on that one is I bought it used from a guy here in town that specializes in Subarus, called Car Connection. And I got a decent deal on it. I drove it for a little while. I don't know. I don't think we had it even 6 months. And it was Kathy's daily driver. And I went over to pick her up at her friend's house in the winter, and I wanted to try out the Subaru. I wanted to see how good is this Subaru in the snow. So I'm going a little faster than I should. And of course, when you lose it in a Subaru, you've done lost it. And I slid off the road into the ditch and through a bunch of little trees, and I dented every single panel on that car, roof included. Tore the mirrors off. It was all, real minor stuff. But anymore, body shops don't fix dents. They just replace the panels. So, of course, that instantly totaled the car. And I was like, well, you're kidding me. From 4 feet away, you can't even tell anything happened other than the mirrors. So I bought it from the insurance company. I don't know what they paid. They paid a pretty good chunk of money and then gave me the car back. So it was great. And so, I traded that. I put mirrors on it and traded it for a pickup, to a friend of mine. It was an old Ranger pickup, and it was fun, So I just traded to her, let her drive the Subaru or have the Subaru. And she's driven it, 4, 5, 6 years now, and things now up to 200,000 miles. And it just recently, it has developed some issues. And so, she wanted to, my wife just took over the newer van because I got the pickup truck. And so we had the Highlander sitting here, 2002 Highlander that's got pretty low miles and is in pretty good shape. And so we sort of traded it back to Mary for the Subaru again. So I got the Subaru, and I'm trying to decide whether that one's going to the junk or not. And there, believe me, we're not making stupid financial decisions here. It's just, I'm leaving out all the details of the quote unquote trade deal. But suffice it to say, the Subaru's got some issues. She ran into it with somebody else's. She ran into it with somebody else's car in the driveway at her house and dented up the fender and front door. But it still works, and it just looks ugly. Took out the headlight, so needed a headlight. Needed a headlight. Needed an idler pulley on the engine. I got that done. Got the headlight coming from a junkyard out in Wisconsin somewhere, because I'm not going to pay $150 for a Chinese replacement that won't last very long. If I'm going to replace it, I'll replace it with a real one, even though it comes from a junkyard. But anyway, got that on the way. And then I go to drive it after I get the pulley, and it's got an axle problem, and it's got an exhaust leak. Well, I knew the exhaust leak. That's not a big deal. But now it's got an axle problem, and I don't know if it's the front or the rear or the both, but whatever. They're binding and crunching and everything. And I'm like, geez, I could put an axle on it. It's not that expensive and whatever, but, it's a 200,000 mile Subaru. What else is going to go wrong with it? And we don't need it. That's the other thing. We were just going to fix it up to sell, but, if I end up putting $1,000 in it, I'm not going to get that back because, it's an ugly car. It's a beater with a heater. It's got a crunched up front fender and door. And, it's, like I said, it drives nice other than that, binding up axle. Like one of the CV joints or something is bad. I don't know. I got to crawl under there and look, but I didn't realize that when I was fixing it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have. I'm probably going to take it over to Car Connection and have that guy look at it and say, what do you think? Is it worth it, or do you want it for parts? So we might do that. I don't know. We'll see. But, it's so, when is it time to just say to heck with it and not put any more money in a beater car? Dave Ramsey always said, keep them going as long as you can, safely. Well, that's part of the problem, with my van. I wouldn't, trust that. I wouldn't sell it or give it to a family, that was going to use it, with a bunch of kids and all that. No. But, me driving around hauling lumber and shit, that's fine. I don't care. Or, just puttering around town, that's fine. Hauling the dogs to the vet, that kind of thing. But, to use it as a daily driver is probably not a good idea. By the way, my nephew just finally junked my old 93 F-150 that I sold him about 8 years ago. It's his high school car, and I don't know, he's 25, 26 now, whatever. But the frame finally rotted out and broke right behind the cab. So it was time, and he knew that. That was another one of those. They just used it around town and whatnot. So that was down in the Muskegon area. But that truck finally met its maker, and is at the junkyard, hopefully getting crushed, or maybe some useful parts are going to get taken out of it. That was a nice enough truck too. But I tend to run them for a while if I don't wreck them. Like I said, when we bought the orange van, the newer van, the plan was to get rid of the blue one right away, and then it's like, why? This is real handy. Everybody told me what a piece of junk those Caravans are. Well, here to tell you, they're not that bad. Do the basic maintenance on them, and they're plentiful. There's hundreds of them. I see them all over the place, and there are various forms of disrepair, but they're still going. I had a guy I worked with at the courier company had one. I think his was like a 97 or 98. I don't know. It was an older one, but had 450,000 miles on it. He kept the title in the glove box because next time it broke down, he was just gonna, sell it to whoever come and towed him home so he can get home. And it did. It finally died in Ann Arbor, about 250 miles away from home. Transmission finally crapped out on it, but they go for a while. Like I said, mine's at 250-something thousand. So maybe we'll still be talking about it next year. We'll see. Anyway, that's the episode today. What's it, the 3rd, November 3rd. By the way, we did get snow on the 2nd. The episode yesterday was all about snow in Michigan. Well, our first official snow, it was 0.01 inches as measured at Cherry Capital Airport, I think. Or was it Munson Medical Center? Wherever they measure the snow around here. And the only evidence of it here at the house was the windshields on the vehicles that were parked in the driveway. Had a little bit of snow slush on it this morning when I woke up, but now it's severe clear, and the sun's beating in on me right now, so it's all good. Everybody have a good day. We'll catch you tomorrow. What is on the agenda for tomorrow, by the way? Oh, current events. Yeah, that'll be fun. We'll see how everything shakes out, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.